Guys, we are here and we are. No, I'm not going to say the other one.
I was waiting for that.
Okay. So, Charana and I are here to talk about another very controversial thing. Not a controversial thing, but a very, very hyped up topic in the past, which is similar to AI, but not exactly. But it was the shit before the AI, right? So,
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, Charana, go ahead.
So we are here to talk about today.
No, but we need to add a mark here.
Start.
Fuck.
Yeah, go on. Just want to do that one joke.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut that part. So Charan did a very very dark joke, which I really liked, but I just edited that part out. But yeah, today actually we are gonna talk about Web3 and crypto. Yeah. Ooh, it was a very hot topic back in
Very.
2020 and end of 2020 and 2021. It was a very hot topic, right? Kind of like AI.
Yeah.
It was like my cousins quit their job to start trading on crypto. Like, that's how that started. So
I mean, sad enough, I also did a bit of crypto development, like a crypto wallet and travel thing.
yeah,
And 6 months into it, they laid off everyone because
yeah,
the
but at
coin was
least
so
you did.
volatile.
At least you didn't lose anything, right? Like most people I know, they got into this crypto thing because they want to make quick money, right? And they lost actual money. So
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. So yeah, a brief intro to Web3 and crypto. So back in 2020 and 2021, Bitcoin and all these other coins like Ethereum, and there were meme coins as well. Everything like got hyped up when everybody started investing in crypto and Web3 technology specifically. To this day, we actually don't have like 100% idea of how this Web3 and crypto and everything works, because it's like you need a PhD to understand it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, and NFT, you have heard of it. So NFTs and like it's also part of this blockchain, and people actually quit their jobs to start trading on these blockchain platforms like Bitcoin, Ethereum, those kind of things. People put their life savings into it, right? And people lost their actual money and lost their homes. So, and people started trading monkey images, monkey JPGs,
Yeah,
which are
the board, what do you call the Bored Ape Yacht Club?
board ape, yeah. Which was sold like if you do the math, at the time it was like quite like millions, but now it's 95% of those things are worthless, right? So we are here to talk about it, like what happened and why did everyone quietly go home now, because you don't really hear about it, right?
Yep.
So yeah, Charna, do you have anything to add?
No, it's just, I don't know, as crypto came in like a tsunami and just went.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's still there. It's still relevant now. It's at a constant. I mean, it's holding now. It's not super volatile at the moment. Whatever comes up is volatile. I mean, there's like a bunch of people. They started their own coins, like this is from like Logan Paul to that Hawk2 girl and all those people. They
yeah.
started something. They
That's some
all
crazy shit.
started. Yeah, they started
Yeah.
something and then it went down. Their coin crashed, their NFTs crashed, and I remember Logan Paul built a NFT or something through Charizard or something, right? I can't remember, but and then that shit went down. So yeah, I mean, when I started to, so I had the privilege of working, building a mobile app for travel using a crypto wallet. And of course, I didn't work on the crypto side. That was a separate people who worked on it, who was a PhD on crypto and NFTs. Crypto PhDs. But I was just doing the mobile end part of it, and we built it for a certain extent, and that was it. And then they suddenly just sent an email saying everyone's going home.
Yeah.
I
I mean, that's.
it
But
was
the good
like,
thing is, both of us are quite used to that scene, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We know how
Like
startups,
packing up and going home.
startups go taking up and failing. And then, funny enough, there was a lot of money involved in crypto, so
Yeah.
we got proper severance and proper salaries, and like that. But of course, like the only sad part about it is that I didn't have a job for a month.
Yeah.
But other than that, they paid off us okay. So just coming back to this idea, even when the NFT started, I also started putting some money down on NFTs, right? And
Yeah.
I don't remember the platform. I bought a part of a you can buy a block of NFT, and then the platform closed down without even sending an email or notice. To this date, I can't find my
Yeah.
money or my wallet.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I feel
so
you. Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
a fuck all, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. See, and so we are very technical people, and even we don't understand how it really works. So what the
We
hell
are
it
either
is? Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah. Really dumb. Like not just dumb, like really dumb.
Yeah, either one of
And,
those.
yeah. So I think so if there are any non-technical people watching our videos, so I'll give a brief introduction. So basically, the idea behind Web3 was to have the whole internet owned by users, right? Like a
Decentralized.
community, not a, yeah, decentralized. Like it's not owned by Google, Apple, like these giant companies. It's owned by users. Kind of similar to socialism, I would say, but
Hmm.
you know how that works currently right now, at least in Sri Lanka. So it's
Uh,
yeah, we don't
I,
need to really get into
yeah.
that political things, but
Let's not
yeah,
touch
it's
that on
yeah,
this video. Yeah.
yeah. But the best part of like the best part about socialism is you run out of other people's money. So
Uh,
yeah, so but yeah, I said I'm not gonna get into it, so let's not get into it, right? So yeah, and let's actually start with the negative stuff. I want to do that.
right.
So yeah, and with negative stuff, let's start by talking about why is everything quiet? Did everyone go home? Why
Mhm.
is everything so? So Web3 with the like we said, the crypto market and everything, it was like going up, right? Nobody thought it was gonna crash. Nobody thought it was gonna come down. So uh, there were platforms like FTX that were doing like millions of trading per day, right? And it was owned by this guy called CEO's guy called Sam Bankman-Fried. So
Who
not
is it?
Sam Altman from OpenAI.
Sam
It's another
Bank,
Sam
Sam
Fried.
Bankman-Fried. Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy, like, they had money in their platform, but the thing is, like, they did a poor money management and they lost billions, quite literally, and people lost their actual savings and people lost their houses and all those sort of things, right? Like, it's just, so from the looks of it, it looks like just numbers on a screen, but it's actually not, right? It's actual people's savings and actual people's lives. So yeah, they were betting on it very heavily and they just lost the bet. And because of that, people lost their trust in this tech, crypto and Web3 and all these other things like NFTs, and people quickly got out of it. That's like, because when you lose something, you just try to get away from it for as far as you can, right? And there were a bunch of celebrities there as well, like trying to do bunch of cash grabs, like Charana mentioned. Logan Paul did some NFTs and tried to sell those things for millions. What I did was I quickly went into their, looked at those NFTs and took screenshots of it. I mean,
Hmm.
it's basically the same thing, right? Like who, who are them? Who are they to tell me like I can't really have this image? I can and I will. So that's what I did by taking a freaking screenshot. So yeah, I
I mean
mean, like,
the
yeah,
crypto also crashed. Like before that, even like on
yeah,
2022, crypto started crashing, right?
yeah,
And like the major coins like lost so about 70% of their value of
yeah,
like their all-time highs. And then
yeah,
FTX kind of exploded. and that
Yeah.
dude just messed around with other people's money and like,
Yeah.
and then since after the FTX scandal, then there were trust issues with that, and then celebrities, what they did was they quickly jumped into it, and then they want to do a quick cash grab, so they just quickly went ahead and started their own stuff, started doing NFTs to crypto stuff, and well, I don't know, for a person who's from outside who has not invested money on that, looks like it's a scam, right? Of course, it might not be a scam. We don't know. So we have to see both ends of this. But
But it
it
is
looks
kind
like
of a
that.
scam.
Yeah, because people lost their money. I mean, they are betting. Of course, this. Okay, now it's sounding a bit gamblish, but people did have to bet on themselves to put money into these platforms, right? And
Yeah.
then, yeah, after all of that stuff, and then the NFT market just started dying, right? There were like monkey JPEGs, like apes on
Yeah.
JPEGs who are going at millions. And at that point, we should have just questioned humanity
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
as
As a whole.
humans, as what the fuck are we doing with our money?
Yeah.
But that never occurred to anyone, did that?
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
kept buying monkey pictures.
Yeah.
So
I
I mean,
mean,
I understand that's what happens in the art community also, but sometimes at least art community they have some deeper meaning behind the picture.
yeah.
Something. I mean, even if someone's bullshitting, but there's some bullshit behind it.
Uh,
This, it's just a fucking ape, man. There was
ape
nothing
smoking
behind
a
it.
cigarette, something like that. Yeah.
How is it poetic at all?
Yeah.
Sad.
So it's a nice bit of rant from Charana. So yeah, that's why he's here.
I mean, I'm
And
a
yeah,
victim of this damn crypto and
yeah,
NFT, not NFTs, but the crypto scene. Of course, like I mean,
yeah,
honestly, like I like they didn't even give me notice. They just asked me to leave. So
yeah.
everyone was laid off,
I
and
mean,
the
yeah.
product was killed.
I mean,
I guess.
back in 2021, I had a colleague who actually quit his job just so he can focus on crypto and Web3 full time. Then like he was balling out for a couple of months, right? He was balling out, like buying all these fancy watches, like buying all these fancy things. But then, like a couple of months later, I went to I think Playtrix or somewhere. I met him, and he's like, "Macha, can you get me a job? Can you find me a job?" I was like, "What? You're asking me, dude? I'm barely just getting by." Like, and that was a fun moment. Then, like, yeah, that felt good for myself. I was like, maybe it's a good thing I didn't jump ship. So yeah, and yeah, so from that, so that's how the negativity started, right? And one other thing is like from a development perspective, it's so hard to understand, right? Like technology, I think Char and I, we are a bit seasoned developers, right? Even for us, it's very hard to understand. And like, like I said, you need to have a PhD in cryptography in order to do a simple thing, in order to buy a coffee, right? So it's kind of crazy. Like it shouldn't be that hard, and the job market is a bit crazy.
I think right now it's just the barrier to enter Web3 is like that. Like you need to have a lot of knowledge, and of course, some people would beg to differ. They'll be like, "No, it's not that. That's not the case." But then again, that you would know the basics, and you would know the barrier to enter, even the barrier you would understand on how to enter, right? So, of course, some of those things some people understand and some people don't. It's just how accessible is that knowledge, how accessible is that information is the question, right? Now, if you look at AI, as soon as AI came into the picture after about a year, the providers started creating SDKs and easy ways to use AI, easy ways to integrate AI into your workflows and your systems and your product, and so on. So they were also backed by a lot of good investment companies. It just makes sense, but still that barrier to enter is still there for Web3, right?
Yeah, and also it's a it's it has to do with the value proposition, right? Like the Web3, I mean, the hype was this big, the actual value was this, right? Like
Yeah.
it's very hard to, like when you're hyping up a product, you need to have proper value. The thing with AI is it has this much value, but the hype is way bigger than that. So yeah, but with AI, you actually get value, right? You get value out, like you you get something
Yeah,
out of it. But Web3, it's very hard. I mean, you can get something out of Web3, but the value proposition is very low, right? Like it's
yeah.
very
There's a
yeah.
good throughweb for AI.
Yeah. Okay, we have throughput again in this video. So
But yeah,
yeah,
and that's the case. Web3 is the new internet, so it'll
yeah,
come. It'll come one day. It'll come.
yeah.
But
But still, it's
I
still.
don't
I
know when
think
that is.
you have used Google Pay and things like that, Charana, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like it feels seamless. I mean, why would you give up something like Google Pay or Apple Pay? Of course, both of those things don't have support in Sri Lanka, but we have seen it, we have used it, but it's very seamless. And why would you give up something like that for Web3? I mean, it's we haven't seen anything in action, right?
yeah. I mean, Web3 right now is very clunky. That's true.
Yeah,
Like, of course, it's not the user experience wise. It's not great. So
yeah,
we just have to. I think one thing is we just have to sit back and wait until everyone integrates into Web3, because even like tokenization of the real world assets, right? Like people are
yeah,
trying to tokenize that thing. So BlackRock, that that financial
yeah,
institute,
yeah,
yeah, so they are actively checking on ways to do that. How can you,
yeah,
like real life assets, like real world assets, how can you tokenize it, so
yeah,
that you can have digital assets, like, basically converting
yeah,
that into digital assets. uh, so that will of course come later. And I think, like anything else, like if you like GPay and Apple Pay and all those are from major companies, right? So
yeah,
those companies first build their user base, and once they build a user base, they build they started building an ecosystem around it. And a part of the ecosystem is their payment systems, right? So if you're already in an ecosystem and the ecosystem provides you a payment system, you would just generally just use that. Why
yeah,
would you use something else? That's basically how that's the flow of the user experience. It's super easy to use, right?
yeah,
So you less clicks. And when it comes to Web3 right now, that's not the case. So
yeah,
like everything else, we might have to just sit back and wait. But
yeah,
right now, it's not at a good level. It's not
yeah.
like
I
it
mean,
doesn't have much demand, I would say.
yeah, I mean, like if there was all this hype, but where is the next big thing? Like that's the big question that I have. Like, where is it? Is there like where is a product? Like, are there any products that we can actually use in the real world? Like, I have not seen anybody use any Web3 products out there in the wild. I would say so. Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
that's
Google while
yeah.
you're saying this. I'm just gonna Google a
Yeah.
platform and see. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
But if you actually have to Google it, it's not being it's not
But
being used, right? Like
I
if
mean, we
you have
might
to do
not be
research
in
on
the
it,
scene. Yeah, true. I don't know. We might not be in the scene also, right? So to know where it is.
yeah, yeah. But the scene is like if it's a niche category, like why were like the hype, it doesn't translate to that niche market, right? So yeah, and when it comes to positive, so let's talk about the positive things. I think Chara touched on a great point, like BlackRock and all these big financial institutes trying to get into this tokenization of real world assets. So particularly, like imagine if you can own a piece of skyscraper, right? If imagine if you can actually own like a percentage of like a small percentage of depending on the money you have, but I don't think we can afford to own a percentage of like Shangri-La or one Gold Face. But you see, like imagine like that's the concept behind it, like tokenization of real world asset. Like you can own a piece of actual art or actual piece of a skyrise building. So yeah, that's actually has some promise to it. And now the all the hype has died down a bit, right? So now what happened is like all the true builders who are very passionate about this technology is are the only ones who are still in this platform or technology space, right? So all
Yeah.
the get get rich quick crowd has left the chat, and it's all these like true builders who have an actual passion for this technology and who are like trying to push this thing through, right? So yeah. And Charana, did you get an answer from Google?
I have no clue what I'm looking at.
See? See, this is exactly the issue, right? This is exactly the issue. Like we can't even find a proper answer.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna share my screen just to. So, I mean, we are developers, so we are gonna go into figure out development kits. So this is a
Yeah.
framework. Let me just share my screen. All right.
Okay.
So, right here, if you look at this, no, reject. Well, build monetize scale, build on-chain apps, games, and agent in-depth on-chain data for builders on every EVM. What's the EVM?
Yeah.
Electronic
Electronic
voting
voting
machine.
machine. No, I don't think that's like you have to type in crypto.
Ethereum virtual
Ethereum,
machine. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Ethereum's doing actually a really good job on this. But the Ethereum has like a lot of backs on them. They have a lot of good
Yeah.
investors behind them.
I mean, the plus point of Ethereum is that I bought a 3070 GPU back in 2021, and I sold it for like 2 times the price. Like I bought it for around, I'd say, I don't know how much. Like
So this is just a payment gateway. This is like
$600, and I sold it for like $1,200.
Jesus, that's
Then I
like
bought a
twice the
3080.
price. Twice the price.
Yeah.
So I mean, fairly simple that they basically put their wallet and their transaction system into your system. So they have SDKs provided. This is actually pretty good. And then they have a couple of these are real world examples. It says King of Destiny sells 1,000 NFT packs in 2 minutes, powered by third web engine. So that's pretty cool. It's just the ledger books and the transactions, everything they handle by them. Their wallet and everything's maintained there. Wallets, universal bridge, the contracts, everything's there. So yeah, I think they manage all the contracts. They manage all the ledger, like basically transactions and everything, and then they just let you integrate that into your system. That's pretty cool. See the pricing actually. I mean, an AI support, web and mobile SDKs, that's not bad. Custom in-app wallet, I think what is your guaranteed response?
I mean, it looks cool, but the
given that this, do you see this, right? 48-hour guaranteed response, 24, 12 hours. That means you need to have, there's like so many issues or incidents that is happening that you need customer service. That's why
yeah.
So it's like that's like an indication that okay, like there are things that can go wrong or something, so that we are available at a good price of 99 to 499 to 1499. So I guess so. There we go. That's the ape again. But it's good. They've done SDKs, and so basically these kind of stuff is what I was expecting as well. Just to understand, you bring the barrier to enter becomes lower, right? So, what is this? What can Nebula do? It's like a. Okay, I have login. I'm not gonna log in. But
see,
yeah,
that's where we draw the line. If it has to, if we have to log in, we are not gonna use a product.
Oh wait, Google Cloud has some stuff. Oh yeah, these I've seen. These are like extension stuff they have. Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't know they had this. This is cool. Well, they have the universal ledger and everything. Well, I actually did not know Google had this part of this thing, which is pretty cool. Now I'm a bit concerned. You can even explain this transaction hash. Let's see what it does.
That's
pretty cool.
Okay, see, now we are going into actual research and trying to put on our development hats and trying to see what this looks like. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm just asking AI. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is, right? Nowadays, programming is basically that.
Okay, it's just it's explain the hash and what it consists and all that stuff. Yeah, these are pretty cool. What else can they give me more than this? This is something that anyone can figure out. Oh, can't I get the previous? Oh, there you go. Explore this wallet. Learn about Web3. Can you explain Web3 in few sentences? Let's see.
I think that's going to defeat the whole purpose of this video, but yeah, let's do it.
Web3 represents the next iteration of the internet, characterized by decentralization, blockchain technology, and user empowerment. Blockchain and core component of Web3 is distributed ledger technology that securely records the transactions across a network of computers. It offers transparency, immutability, and resistance to censorship. Web3 technologies also encompass areas like stablecoins, tokenization, and decentralized finance. While the full realization of Web3 is still developing, ongoing advancements in blockchain and cryptocurrency suggest promising future for the evolving internet landscape. As January 30th, the Web3 space continues to evolve. Okay, with trends and predictions focusing on areas like increased trade fee engagement and growth of stable coins. Big thing, what the hell is trade?
It has been promising future
Additional
with
stock.
Web3 for since 2020, right? 2020.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean, it's been
I think
close to
this is
5 years.
basically what it is, right? Like it's like user empowerment means that the user has control over the system because it's decentralized. So you also become part of that. But the main part of this is the ledger technology, right?
Yeah.
So it's distributed through a ledger technology. I securely do these transactions and you keep your records. That's
Yeah,
where you
definitely.
have to.
That's a plus point I want to talk about as well. It's gonna make transactions very if it actually works, it's gonna make transactions very seamless and authentication and all of those stuff. We won't need to have all these, like even right now nowadays, if you want to buy, like let's say if you want to apply for a loan or do money transaction or anything like similar to any financial transaction, like you need to have a lot of, like you need to prove yourself, right, with a lot of
Yeah.
authentication and all those kind of things. That's what they're trying to eliminate with Web3. So yeah, it's gonna, like the main point of that is like making transaction fast and cheap. Like transaction costs are gonna be gonna go down. And the with that also, let's imagine if you want to make a payment for someone who's across the world, you can easily do that where if they're the same blockchain, right? So that's the idea of it. That's the promise of Web3. So those are the positive cases. So you see, like there are not a lot of positive things that we can talk about, unlike AI. Like AI actually has some real value. So we don't really want to turn this video into a whole AI thing again, but we're just trying to compare apples to apples, maybe, but not really. But yeah, but I think with the AI and Web3 integrations will somehow, it will make something at least. I think, Charana. What do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely that is going to be the case. I don't want to make this an AI video again. So how do I
Yeah,
not? How do I go around
yeah,
that? Uh, uh, like to be very honest, see the knowledge that we have about Web3 and crypto, like crypto as an investment, we have the knowledge. Of course, we have done a fair share of spending our money on bad investments through crypto and good investments also. That, of course, those things we have a basic idea, but what goes under the hood is something that I didn't actually spend enough time to learn, right? But I just want, for this video, what we want to do is we wanted to see if we can do a small research and get an idea on where this is headed exactly. And something that we kind of understood is that the barrier to enter this market, this development scene, that's a better way to put
yeah,
it,
yeah.
is that it's hard. It's not that easy at the moment. And of course, the people are building platforms like I showed you earlier, where they have their own SDKs that you can integrate into your product, where you can like basically bring Web3 into your product through Web2. So Web2 is the current internet, and of course, which means that with the AI boom, the AI integrations are also going to come in. So imagine like there can be an AI that can quickly even ledgerize everything that they have. Of course, again that defeats the purpose of a decentralized system. Uh, I of course don't have much real world application use
So
cases
see,
on
it
how that
has
can
more
work.
contradictions than actual.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a direct use case for this, but I believe AI can evolve how Web3 will come out next. Because even building these platforms, right now we have a barrier to enter because there's not enough people working on it. That's a reality. And there's not enough money behind it also. I understand there's a lot of money behind crypto, but it still boils down to the fact that someone needs to sit down and take steps, takes actions toward what happens next. And that's very, compared to AI and compared to other tech that is out there, trending Web3 and decentralized systems are currently not having the same trend as those. Like, it's less, of course, right? And the more people work on it, the more people get involved, the more accessible it's going to get. So with that, AI can definitely come into play, where accelerate platforms, accelerate how the system should work, accelerating and building their own parts, and basically streamlining the workflows. So we just have to sit back and wait until we see what happens.
Yeah. And like I said, the barrier to enter is there because it's very complex. We touched on that point quite a lot. So, yeah. Okay.
Basically, if you were to ask, okay, what's the next big thing right now? We had crypto, we had a decentralized internet, we have Web3, and then now we have AI. And what's next? What's next for me? Something that I'm learning these days is quantum computing. And I love it. It's so hard for me to understand what it is, because I don't come from in Sri Lanka, it's the maths majors, people who does maths for advanced level, who has the base
It's
for
not just
understanding
maths,
these
right?
things.
Like you need to have maths, physics, and all of these.
That, like, we back then, when we were old people, guys. Back then, when we did it, like we couldn't mix and match business with physics and all that stuff. You can only have maths, and then on maths you can have a couple of stuff that you can't just mix and match everything, right? But now, of course, you can to a certain extent. But that's, I think, irrelevant to this discussion. But coming back to this,
now we are talking about our school drama.
So
how the education system failed us.
Look at me, man. I'm having a hard time. So I'm actually learning quantum computing and how it works. It's really fun, to be honest, at the early stages. And of course, now quantum computing is bringing in like a lot of new things into the world. Where Google released their chip, Microsoft released their new chip, which with a new element that they have discovered, which is really cool. But of course, it's in a very gray area. Also, a lot of people have their own ideas and controversial thoughts about it. But I'm excited to see how all of these are going to come together. You know, the decentralized internet, the AI boom, the quantum computing boom. You know, it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen next.
And with the Trump tariffs, like, very exciting times ahead. So,
I have no idea what's going to happen next, but
so to wrap this video up, it's going to be a very short video compared to our previous videos, but we are just trying to make it short and sweet. But so okay, verdict, Charana, for founders, entrepreneurs, engineers, devs, and for everyday person. What is Web3 and how is it going to look like?
Don't watch this video.
Do not watch this video.
Don't watch this video. I mean, with some sadistic stuff happening in this video, like, it's just, I don't know, I mean, I of course started the crypto journey way too early and realized that there's no market for that right then. There was a market which kind of died now. Then again, now it's coming up, it's booming. So I guess, of course, if you are in that area, and there are a lot of startups that I see that is coming up, it's a good idea to be in that path. And of course, if you're trying to earn a lot of money, that is not the way to go about it right now if you're a developer. But if you're an investor, of course, I've seen a lot of investors invest, and they're holding the investment as well with these crypto platforms and Web3 platforms. So hopefully, with the new world order and how everything changes, we will see. No, I mean, I don't mean new world order in that way. I mean, it's the wrong choice of words. It's just like how the world is changing now. We'll have to see how these things will come into effect. Of course, someone has to pick this up and start a trend in order for it to start becoming a thing.
So what happened was that it So Web3 used to be this really cool new nightclub that was just open, so everybody was partying inside of it. Now the club is closed down, and now they are in workshops trying to figure this thing out, right? So that's currently what's happening. And also the regulatory aspect is also a bit concerning. Like, no government is ready to accept. I mean, some countries, in some places they accept these crypto payments, but it depends on the people. Would much rather have real currency like US dollars or even Sri Lankan rupees. No, not Sri Lankan rupees, but like they would much rather have a real currency that has actual value rather than some this virtual thing, right? So yeah, that's the gist of it. And for founders and entrepreneurs who are gonna dive into this Web3, so my advice is that don't just start a company based on a technology like Web3. It can be Web3 or AI or whatever it can be. Like, don't just start a company because of that. Try to solve a real problem, right? A real problem a user might have, and that might require AI, that might require Web3, but most of the time, probably you won't need those AI or Web3. Just it can just be a normal platform, right? So try that. Try creating a platform where you can solve an actual real world problem for a user, and then see if you can actually integrate Web3 or AI or whatever it is into a platform or technology. And all these new tools like AI or Web3, it's not a magic bullet, right? So yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, for engineers, is it a good career? We don't know. We actually don't know. So yeah.
Why didn't we even do this video at this point? Like, we
Yeah.
just say
We
we
don't
don't know
know.
a lot of things, man.
We do- No, but
But no, but
yeah,
no, actually, we shouldn't say we don't know, right? Like, we should say it's up to for you to figure it out, because you like do your research, of course, go into it, and then
yeah,
see how that works. Because yeah, I mean, we both have given it a try. Way too early when it came out. I actually interviewed to another Web3 job, which I did not get. It was very interesting though, and to see, like, of course, like there's like a very niche thing, right, in this right now. So becoming niche, of course, pays you well depending on where you go plug yourself into, and hopefully we all can build this and bring a decentralized internet one day.
yeah. One day, huh? Day. So yeah, that's about the state of crypto and Web3 right
Yeah.
now, 2025. Nothing big still hasn't happened. So yeah, maybe the crypto bros will come after us. I don't know, but yeah, we are ready to fight. We're ready to throw hands.
Throw hands. Um, I mean, I'll probably just start asking for a job, but
Yeah.
that's a
Honestly,
different story.
yeah.
All
All
right, I
right.
think we've come to an end of this video
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. All right, guys. So this is the end of the video. As usual, it's gonna be awkward silence for 2 minutes. Then we're just gonna cut the check. All right. See you guys.